And the way the game ended, it means that Blue Eyes end in 8th place. They're locked in the last place of NLC. Also, they're going for relegations. But that also means that Nord just deleted every single tiebreaker possibilities with this game alone. But to talk about this game, we need to understand how it happened and how it began as well. The idea of that misfortune to the mid lane versus the Tristana. Expectations where they met. I want to understand a little bit better more of this, Richard. Duckling.
No, Duckling, you
Yeah,
go.
I think, like, obviously, as we discussed, right, it's a new matchup. It's one we rarely saw or have seen before. We were discussing how Hunt has been in form recently, how Tristana in particular has been incredible. And this is something we talked about in the green room, right? When you normally let something like that be open, then you have something to play against it. So surely this misfortune has to have been practiced, or at the very least thought about and had an idea, but we never got to see it do anything, to be honest, in terms of how it would be executed, because the first time we really pandered mid lane after a chaotic start to the bot lane was Hunt finding a solo kill. So Hunt was just able to yet again take a few solo kills in the mid lane, build up a massive lead that he was then able to, even when the rest of his team around him were really faltering, pull through and get Nord to the victory. So yeah, this misfortune didn't counter the Tristana in any real way.
No, you have obviously the solo kill in the mid lane, and as much as that was detrimental to the MF, I don't think that's actually what slingshot Hunt to being the presence of in the game that he was. Remember the fight around the dragon where we saw TP from Veluxa come down? Hunt actually used his TP about a minute earlier to get into the top lane, and as soon as the Ornn leaves, Hunt gets 4 or 5 plates, first brick, 2 or 3 uncontested waves, and it's from that point that the Tristana is just so fed off of raw turret gold. It's actually not much of a PvP experience that they've had to get to that point, but the amount of gold that they got injected from structures for 1 dragon and a 2 for 2 around the Drake, Nord will happily take that, and Hunt, most specifically, more than paid that back later on.
So it seems like we're approaching this game as a Nord had it in the bag. It was a comfortable one, but the people who saw it, it was not comfortable. I think we need to raise the praises for MKR and the way he played, but also for the indecisiveness coming in from Nord and allowing Blue Eyes to show up as well at the end.
I think it's obviously worth remembering Blue Whites weren't really supposed to be in the league to begin with. They've had a lot of roster changes throughout, but when we first saw the team, and I chatted with Carvis, who we've had on the show as well, one of the Finnish casters out there, he discussed to me that if there was anyone in this team who was gonna be able to step up to the level of the NLC, it was MKR, and I think finally we saw a bit of that here. He's the highest rated in solo queue. He's the one with the mechanics, at the very least in terms of the original roster that they had. Yes, they have so many roster changes now that it is a bit all over the place, but we saw a good game from him. We saw what the Kaiser could do there. They were very fun to watch in the beginning of the bottom lane, actually outplaying Ecstasy Romeo, which is such a strong 2v2 on paper. It was really impressive to see from him and Pupe, but obviously in the end, it certainly wasn't enough as Hunt was able to get that back going.
But that's another key point, because he was playing with a new player as well. MKR was playing with a new support as well. And this is why we got to toss it to the interview, because we have him waiting for the interview as well. Welcome, pleasure to meet you. How are you doing? And before we even start, we need help. How do we pronounce your name? Help us.
I mean, I've been called many nicknames, but you can go Pupe or Pupe in the most Finnish way. Yeah. So sounds good. I mean, the worst one I've heard so far is like Papi. So please don't use that one. I don't like that one. So avoid that, please. Whatever else, but not that.
We got it. So, hey, Brian, you know the name by now. We were really confused. How do we pronounce this? We need to make sure this is well pronounced. Welcome to the league as well. So what happened? Is this a stable change? Was this just for today? Tell me about it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was asked to come for the final games. I'm subbing in. We're just having a bit of a change. I think, I mean, as you can see, there's been a little bit of turbulence inside the team, and I can understand why. So I'm coming in. I'm gonna play tomorrow. We're gonna beat Verdant. I mean, for sure. I mean, we're playing Verdant, right? So I mean, the goal for today was basically just have a good fight, and of course we wanted to win. And I think I tried pretty hard, but I think the experience of Nord really prevailed. We just couldn't match the thing. So yeah, that's basically it.
So when you're looking today, it was not as easy as Nord had hoped for, and that brings some highlights for tomorrow as well. And when you look into this, I want to get to know you as a player. What can I expect from you? Like, what sort of play style? How do you prefer to play? Who are you? Tell me.
I'm just a little random from Finland, random support player. No, but I mean, as a playstyle, I mean, I'm an engaged connoisseur. I try my best. I'm probably talking way too much in comms. If you ever hear any clips from us, I'm just like the guy shouting, "Do this, do that." I'm on the flank. I'm using WQ ulti. But yeah, I'm basically a really talkative guy. I just try to play engaged. Try to be really aggressive, and I'm basically the apprentice to Abagnale, who was playing in NLC last split, I think, or at least last year. So he's been coaching me. I'm his apprentice. He's been the master for me for the past like 4 months or something. So I appreciate him. Shout out to him. So yeah, hopefully I can get to play a bit more. But I'll try to enjoy the last 2 games, or today and tomorrow.
Big question for you. The idea that Blue Whites are now locked in for relegations, it means that you will have to fight the other division to stay alive for the first division. My question to you is, do you believe like this entire split allowed Blue Whites to get some experience that for the other teams won't have access to, and this will allow Blue Whites to push forward to another first division for the next split? Or do you think like the fact that you only got one victory is going to be concerning for the teams and the morale of the team?
I mean, to be honest, the Div 2 doesn't look too strong. I don't think that's going to be a problem for anyone. I don't know what the roster is exactly going to look like for Blue Whites. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's probably going to be some talks, and everyone's going to like look at their like opportunities ever. But I'm sure like anyone in this roster, even the first 5 people, like all the Finnish lads, they're all really great individually. They're really nice guys. They're really smart about the game. So I don't think there's going to be any problem once the team just clicks. I think Blue White just has had like they've just had like a really unfortunate time of like really unfortunate events with like joining in really late and players maybe not communicating what they want and what they need enough. But I think it'll be fun. Especially I really appreciate the coaching staff of Blue Whites. I think they've done a good job, and even though there's a lot to improve on, I think the future looks really bright for the team either way.
Good to know. Hey, thank you so much for this interview, and a pleasure to meet you as well. Good luck for tomorrow.
Thank you very much. See you guys.
See ya. Good to know more people and also how to pronounce their name, Hiprain. It's always.
You're so humble as well.
Yeah, chill guy. It's from Finland, you know. It's a chill guy. If it was from Denmark, you know, but Finland, it seems.
Had to throw some shade in that, man. Like that is absolutely crazy.
Nice to see someone from a real country.
Yeah, look. I will say, right? I know me and Finland had some beef at the NLC RPS, and I called you guys the most irrelevant country in the Nordics. I do still stand by that point, but you are lovely people. I will say that much.
I'll give you something, Duckling. We were talking on the green room, and I stated something about Denmark. Remember? So what I want to say is, hey, we have an interview with Nille ready, so let's jump into that one as fast as possible so Duckling disappears. Hey, welcome to the interview! How you doing? Hey, too close for comfort, wasn't it?
Yeah, was way more close than we would have hoped for. So yeah, it was quite messy game from us.
Why do you think it was the way it was?
I mean, we had some chaotic comms and different ideas of what we wanna do, and it was a bit chaotic. So that's why some bad things happened in the game that made it hard.
I love when I interview you because you deliver the replies with such caution towards what happened in the game. I love it. So Blue Whites are showing a lot of progress, but also I saw a tweet from Nord at the beginning of the day. Hey, we might be able to pull something really interesting as well today. That has nothing to do. That was the social managers just bring chaos, right?
Yeah, I guess this is the first time I hear about it, so
Okay.
I guess so. I'm not sure.
We're about to jump into playoffs, Nila.
Yeah.
Who are you most hopeful to make it? Venom Crest or Lightside? Who do you think is gonna make it?
I mean, probably Venom Crest will make it, I would say. I think they're better. So.
Now looking at North, I don't know if I get you tomorrow an interview, which will be the last from the regular split. So I'm going to ask you right now, if you make it into playoffs, it's no longer a best of one. We're talking about best of fives. We're talking about like the real game. If you meet Ruddy, how do you think it's going to be the score at the end of the day, and why will North win?
I mean, it's always in best of fives. I mean, the picks kinda evolve during the series, and there's like there's usually like a meta in the series that evolves. So there's gonna be like different champs being played, and I think for me at least the experience will help a lot with that in best of 5. So I think I can make a difference.
So let's imagine, for instance, that is going to be Venomcrest joining the top 4 teams. Of all the top laners, who do you want to fight most against?
I mean, I think all the top players in like the top teams are quite good, so I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, I don't really mind who I play against.
Wherever it is, you're gonna beat him. That's the idea, isn't it?
Yeah.
There you go. A man of few words, and they're all delivered well. Thank you so much for the interview. Best of luck. Let's see what happens tomorrow. Was too close, so go get some tea or something like that, Nili. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks.
There you go. MVP, kind of obvious Hunt. It's not only about the damage and the gold and the KDA, it's also about the mindset he had and the vision in the map. Like just
And
TPing.
the fact that he's Danish.
Yeah. There you go.
That had nothing to do with it.
There
actually,
you go.
somehow.
So
The part for me was the ending of the game, right? It was all chaos. It was all carnage. Baron was getting flipped. I don't even know. I'm like, guys, I'm okay. I'll win the
You
game.
do you.
There's no stress.
I'll finish. Yeah. It's a different vision when everything is falling apart around you and you're like, hey, I know what to do. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, I think Hunter's grown into like such a good player, right? I remember getting into the scene around the same time as him. Obviously me as a caster, but him as back then a jungle one trick with Renka in the Danish scene, coached by Guldborg actually on Copenhagen's Flames Academy. And to see the leaps and bounds he has come since then, from being back then what was a pretty controversial up and coming talent in the Danish scene to now, like the way that he's able to win this game for his team shows massive improvement. And I mean, yeah, he's been top notch these past few weeks.
Seems the path is straightforward. There's a light side will take on Verdant on the next game. And when we look into this roster, and I was going to ask to keep the roster there, but we know the teams. Who do you think is the lane to watch? I have a few. I have some ideas, but I want to get your ideas before.
So I'm actually a little bit torn. I think I'm going bot lane for this one. There's actually a couple rogue like all-pro votes that I have in this game, specifically in the bot lane, that I'm like tossing up between, like maybe because Drops had a really good split. I'd looked at Fast Legged and Fruity Fresh, they started out super strong as well. That I think this bot lane has so much carry potential in it, and that if one of them gets snowballed and starts accelerating, that's where we have to keep our eyes on.
Yeah, I think those are very good thoughts. The interesting part about this Verdant roster, right, was taking that bot lane, in my opinion, because they were well-performing bot laners in smaller ERLs, and to see them then take the step up to the NLC. I know we aren't big anymore, but there's still a few ERLs.
So is that a dig at Arsha because it was the Portuguese ERL that I was like?
No, it's by no means. It's by no means a dig towards that. I'm just saying it is a smaller ERL, just like the Benelux. I love watching the Benelux ERL, but it is still a smaller ERL than the NLC. But I do want to take our attention to the draft. I in particular want to notice talking about the bot lane.
I bet you do.
That Kormski's champ in Leona has been banned. He's dropped some good performances on that. Ashram, don't be a crybaby. You're what, pushing 40? Get a grip. As we then move on to the draft.
Calm down.
All right. On that note, anyway, back to the draft. This time round, we get to see Tristana abandon Corki taken early on. Do we think that's interesting, folks? Is that something we can talk about, maybe?
Both of these two, like the Corki and the Tristana, I think it's really key, pivotal. The idea of getting the Corki, I think it's way more flexible as well. And I haven't seen this pick for a while, like the Talia. I know she was tweaked, but I think she's really powerful, especially versus a Rail, versus a Yona. A lot of mobility can be cancelled out. It's still a hover, but it's still something.
It seems like, why would I go Talia when I could go Brand? That's my theory. But maybe Dopamine is going to show me quite why. And I'll be intrigued to see that.
I don't know if I'm reaching for the point here, but I'm thinking maybe we could see the core get pushed down to an AD carry position for extra up, get Taliyah mid lane, because the Taliyah damage in the jungle has been nerfed. Like, this was a discussion on the LEC this weekend as well, why the Taliyah has lost so much priority, because it's not really being played as a jungler anymore, because the damage there isn't good enough to match other in-meta junglers clear. So, like, I'm just thinking, either it's a bad jungle pick, or you're trying to do something here around getting into the mid lane. So, let's see what happens to us. That has been locked in. Yeah, that is the Amumu locked in here for light side. Okay.
NLC, first time, but this has been popping in other regions. Amumu is extremely powerful.
We actually saw one, I believe, in CBLOL, so we'll have to see. That was just this weekend. If we get to see Bartholdi have a stellar performance, expecting it to go into the jungle, that is, at the very least. And if you're familiar with the Maokai build path, you'd be no stranger to what I might expect to see happen on the Amumu side as well, especially with the Rel already locked in. Yeah, it's definitely going into the jungle. Obviously, heading into the second round of bans, AD carries missing, expectedly from both of these teams and top laners as well. So for Verdant, banning away those top tier AD carries so that, Fruity Fresh doesn't get his hands on one of them is going to be ideal. And as much as I say ADCs, we know when Fruity Fresh exists, I have to synonymize that with bot laners. Ziggs, exactly the type of ban that you'd expect to see.
Yeah, it doesn't really surprise us. Let's see what they ban out here from the side of light side. A very interesting top lane match in my opinion as well. Elijah, one of the rookies of the split in my opinion, going up against Shihan, who had a good rookie split a year ago. Back then it was already unready, now back in the NLC. He's been a bit up and down, Shihan, in my opinion. He's had some good games, but also some games where he's fallen through, to be honest, in terms of performance. But seeing two bans put towards him here shows that they have respect for what this player can bring to the table with the Renekton and the Darius. The Aurelion Soul, obviously a Fruity Fresh ban. Elijah getting his hands on that K'Sante. Excited to see here what Vern would pick against it. Yes, you could go something for like the Gwen maybe, but I'm not too sure. Maybe you just take the Ornn here, take the tank, get the extra setup for the fights.
You need a front line, you need more help. Nautilus alone is going to have a complicated job. You have a Yone, you have a Mumu, you need a front line. And we've seen in the previous game, that ultimate can change the tides of battle. It's being over, it's going to be locked in, but AD carry now, this is the question.
Let's see. Yeah, so it is likely going to be the AD carry. And that then means that it is going to be this Taliyah jungle. Very, let's see if they change the hover. Obviously, X-Shop has had a lot of success.
Because if you pick this versus Fruity Fresh, you're picking Smolder versus a person who has mastered.
I think that's what there is so much lockdown here on the roster of light side if they catch out the AD carry that you're likely just dead in an instant. Like the follow-up if you get caught by a bandit shot from Amumu is just you're straight sentenced to death even without Thresh being on the field. Like that death sentence is coming through. So yeah, the Vayne, exciting. You get a bit more dash, you get a bit of invisibility to try and kite around. Still think X-Trap has one hell of a game in front of him here if he wants to be successful. And with the Smolder being left open, well, instantly locked in from Fruity Fresh.
When you lock a Vayne, it gives free agency to pick a matching scaling AD carry in response to the Smolder. Just seems to go hand in hand. This is unironically a very good Ghost Cleanse gain for drop if he wants to look like he's running it down, but both of those summoner spells are going to give him insane amounts of value. I see 4 melees plus an Amumu. I need the Ghost for the 4 melees. I need the Cleanse for the Amumu.
Look. Okay.
Yeah?
This is crucial.
Vayne top.
I am thinking this.
It's Vayne top.
Yeah, is it gonna be Vayne top, right? You get the good matchup up against Elijah, but in the end they go back. I thought maybe you could push it mid lane. Harpo is a player who's able to play the supportive style as well. And maybe you just say, okay, Harpo, he takes one for the team, plays the Ornn, gives Shihan, put the pressure on his shoulders instead, and you could also... Yeah, but I mean, sadly, that won't be happening. We'll be playing the standard League of Legends, and the very smart point you are about to make, you can get to finish it now if you want.
No, I you know what? Ghost Cleanse would be good. I don't think we're going to see it. I think he just has to sack the Cleanse and accept that, or sack the Ghost and accept that he has to take Flash. But it's important to remember what the stakes are for this game for Lightside, right? This is still the team that can make it into playoffs. The road is tricky and it's not completely in their control, but the first part of that step for this final week is a win here versus Verdant.
So Venomcrest are watching this game. They're not playing, but if LLS slips and falls, it means Venomcrest will be locked in as the 4th spot for the playoffs. We already have 3. We need the 4th one. But will LLS be able to hold on to their hopes and dreams? Or Verdant will destroy yet another dream? In order to answer that one, let's toss it to the Costas Hiprain and the lovely Foxtrot are waiting for the Summoner's Rift.
We are waiting for the Summoner's Rift. We really are. This is obviously... storyline-wise, very, very important game. A lot on the line here for the side of Lightside. But I just want to talk a little bit about the comps, because me and you were saying we really like what Lightside have put together here. A lot of lockdown
Yeah.
and a smolder just makes a beautiful little combo.
It does. And it's always fun to see Yone coming through as well. Fruit Fresh Smolder is fantastic. And yeah, Amumu. What more can you say about Amumu? I think he's actually a really like Bartholdi style champion. Like when you look at Bartholdi and the way that he plays, he's always playing for his team. He's very good at that as well. Like some of the other champions that he plays, we saw him play Vi last week, I think it was last week, and he was similarly just like all over the place, gets his team ahead, does some really good stuff, and he just excels in those kind of situations. So I think this is a really nice team comp here for Lightside. Like I just think it's nice, and it's nice to see them, you know, with the playoffs on the line as well, really just like going back to their roots a little bit more, and drafting a comp that sets them up for success.
Yeah, I think Amumu is honestly, you know, it's such a fun champion to watch. There's a lot that they're capable of doing, but we're going to find out how this is going to go as we jump into the ref for game number 2. And here we are, Summoners Ref for game number 2, a very important game. Lightside need to win both of their games in this week if they want a chance of making it to the playoffs and to EMEA. Really on the line for them right now. For the side of
Tough
Verdant.
situation.
It's sad for Verdant because, you know, they're just playing upset at this point.
What's that? Okay. Sorry, I'm back.
You're back.
I'm
Hello. I'm back. I'm Jake.
Ready to do it. Hello, Jake. I don't know what happened there. Just cool. Nice. This is it for here. Lightside, these games couldn't mean more, honestly. It's a tough situation they find themselves in, but a situation that starts here with this game. Have to win, like you say, both their games to stand a chance. Xion and Elijah have really taking things extremely seriously with the stakes being as high as they are here this game. Yes, it's gonna be interesting for sure. This is it, right? Venom Crest are the other team sitting in this last playoff spot. Obviously not playing in this game, but if Lightside lose, Venom Crest will be locked in. I know we'll care a lot about this game. Definitely Verdant enjoys. Verdant supporters here today. And again, if Lightside win, and they win tomorrow, and Venom Crest go down too, Lightside still have a chance at that playoff spot. All starts in this game. And right here, the man on your screen, Fruity Fresh, we've seen him a lot on Smolder. Plays it a lot. He's very good at it as well. You have to imagine he would be another big game is going to be needed from him to like this win.
Yeah, he's going to have to play this game very, very well now. Fruity has been probably the most versatile ADC in the league. It's a very wide champion pool. But he's a lot of AP, which is really freed Sumi up because Sumi, seemingly a big AD midder, being able to have someone who can kind of lock in these kind of flexible mid lane bot laners is really big for them. Now, obviously, Fruity, I'm curious about what the build is because my only concern on Lightside's front is they actually have any AP. I mean, technically, Bartholdi does AP, but like, he's not really an AP champ, is he? He's going to be doing tank. And it is always interesting because Amumu's passive is typically better when you're playing with AP champions. So
yeah, his curse passive reducing magic resist from enemies, definitely, as you say, it's better when there's other people around who can benefit from that. But yeah, there isn't a lot of mixed damage profiles here. Ooh, that's a good little level up though from Lightside. I wonder if they could have actually turned that around. They're both dinged 3 right as Calm Sky went in there. That could have been rough for them. But no, you're absolutely right. I mean, we'll see what Amumu decides to build this game, because obviously Leandries is a really popular item right now. It's very strong on mages, but even champions like Maokai, Nunu, even though Nunu's not a competitive champion much, you know, these styles of champion still actually get Leandries before going into tank. and the Mumu might just do the same. And if that is the case, he will be doing a lot more magic damage.
Yeah, absolutely. Interested to see what the build is going to be. A little bit too early right now. I think regardless, it'll probably be a Shojin start here for Fruity or Essence Reaver. Actually, I think it's normally Essence Reaver into Shojin. Honestly, it's the Smolder, kind of Smolder days. It's been a hot minute since that was the case, because last season, Smolder was the ADC to be taking. As Sumi, I think he might just be soloed here. He has Flash. He's going to have to pop it. Held his nerve, and Sumi gets away with 130 HP. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, Calm Sky is actually taking quite a lot of tower damage here. The Ignite was in, but Fruity was out of mana. A little bit too low to chase forwards for the kill. Calm Sky able to survive.
X drop though on full HP, while Fruity Fresh is below half and has no mana. And here comes Dopamine for the dive.
Yeah, they have to play this very, very well. No mana on Fruity. Fastlane does have it. They do get the stun down. Calm Sky able to avoid and evade from getting caught out. X drops very low as now Dopamine goes down. Fruity gets 1, 2 very low health bars. He's just not got the mana to fly towards them. But overall, a 1-for-1 in a 2 versus 3. Lightside's bot lane are going to be happy with that.
Yeah, I'd say that's a bit of a botch to dive there for Verdant. Not able to execute it the way they wanted to, for sure. A kill onto Calm Sky for a kill onto for Fruity Fresh. I don't think that's on the docket right there in a 3 versus 2 as well. Tough situation, but it is what it is right now for Lightside. Good stuff though. Getting that BF sword as well is quite a big deal, to be perfectly honest. The fact that Fruity Fresh not only picked up that kill, but he's able to get back and get a really big item. Huge benefit right now for the Lightside bot lane compared to tier 2 boots and a Cull on Vayne.
Was in Bartholdi actually will be building a Leandries as his first item, off the fact he has the Fated Ashes. Will speed up his clear of the grubs and things if he gets on them. You can already see that Dopamine has moved over though, so Bartholdi's going to be happy with just this dragon for his team. There's Elijah. Sheehan just going toe-to-toe on the top side. Nothing really big ever happening over here. Elijah will make his way over, though, to check the state of the grubs. They've got jungle roaming up as well, so I think Dopamine should just be about forced off the back of this one with that rotate. And overall, they're going to be happy with this. Now, Sumi has got that Fate Sealed available to him. Bartholdi, no level 6, though, so it's going to be very hard to make a play happen. And I think Lightside is just going to be happy with that, as Sumi did just queue into the Phosphorus Bomb there, so they struggle a little bit off the back of that.
Big thing to mention with these two junglers as well is the difference in level 6 power spikes. Obviously, Amumu's quite famed for that Curse of the Sad Mummy. Very, very strong AoE stun. Talia, on the other hand, her ultimate is not a combat ultimate. You can do some cheeky things with it, but let's be real, you don't use it to sway combat, you use it to join a fight. So, or to create some kind of terrain, right, in a fight. But it's definitely going to be a difference here, and something that Verdant will have to respect when it comes to potentially contesting these future objectives. They won't have that teamfight power quite the same way that Lightside does.
Yeah, and I think the big thing for me on this is, you know, Verdant playing into this Amumu, it's going to be hard because they're all relatively short range. I mean, Vayne, particularly not a long range ADC, wants to be kind of in the thick of the fight. Corki, probably the longest range champion here. I guess Dopamine kind of has a fair amount of range with that Q, but like you said, they're probably going to be ulting to either split the fight up or ulting into the fight, which then puts them in the line of fire for the Amumu. The problem right now that Lightside have is Bartholdi has gone this AP build, so they're going to be pretty squishy for at least a little bit. Dopamine looking to use that ultimate to make some space. Fruity Fresh able to get himself... Oh, he's caught. He's in danger. Calls in Mum, but Mum's not helping you out of this one. X drop secures the kill.
Great little engage there from Dopamine as well. Perfect ultimate. I think the wall actually knocked Fruity Fresh out of his flap. I think that's what happened there. Either way, Fruity Fresh was not able to survive that gank. And a kill over to X-Drop now as well. Perfectly donated. He's doing well so far early on for Vayne. Early lane phase, not generally something that you're particularly stronger as hold on here.
Elijah.
Might just be going for
Oh!
Elijah.
Elijah able to avoid and evade there, missing the Q. Jumps back in, is going to just jump forward. Elijah goes down 1-for-1. Denies the cannon, I guess, but that was a lot of action there for topside.
1-for-1, I think works out in the favor of a Cassante, I'd say. I mean, it's kind of a wash. They're both like, you know, supporty tank style champions, but I'd argue with Cassante and well, I mean, we all know what he can do. Giving him some items is pretty scary stuff, actually. But a close fight right there. Nice little 1-for-1. Elijah being a rookie here as well in the NLC. I think he's had a fantastic split. He's been one of our better top laners for sure, and certainly one of our better rookies. And just being able to dive Shihan there under his turret. Kind of crazy stuff here for 10 minutes into the game.
Yeah, really, really nice stuff from Elijah. Grubs are still up, and nobody has looked to turn their attention towards it. Not Bot Holdy, not Dopamine. Dopamine did try, but did get interrupted by Elijah, who rotated towards him. They are just checking the Grubs are still up, and yeah, Sheehan sees that Bartholdi's not doing it. May just be moving towards this mid side. Doesn't actually have the Ornhorn available, but as I say, that Sumi, I believe, did just all in Harbo. Didn't commit the ultimate, just the dash forward with the E. Sumi needs to be careful because Sheehan is hanging about. See if there's an opportunity to find a kill onto this Yone. Still Fate Sealed available, so I think it's going to be a little bit hard here as Sheehan looks to put some pressure into Sumi. Sumi has to use the E to break away. Hasn't got his team nearby. Fate Seal catches Sheehan underneath the tower. Sheehan buying a lot of pressure for his mid lane there. That really cost Sumi quite heavily.
Yeah, no flash use, but still using the Fate Sealed is still very useful right here. Absolutely. That's his main engage gone. You have to imagine the kill pressure now against Harbo is practically nil without that ulti. An interesting factor here between just looking at these jungles as the dragon spawns. Now we've got one complete item for Dopamine with the Blackfire Torch, and not quite finished the Ludens for Bartholdi. That could be a thing right here, right? And I think the fact that Sumi now as well doesn't have his ulti, is chunked low too, should mean that this dragon for Verdant is free. You've got a Vayne who on these third hits does a bunch of damage too. Yeah, with that Corki as well, providing the exceptionally useful 100 damage rocket.
Oh, hello.
Nothing happening.
Elijah got the Q. She ain't able to dodge away from it this time. A lot of pressure brought up there. That was the grub secured by Bartholdi. Sumi, he's going down. Harbo finds the kill onto him. Now, meanwhile, Bartholdi has the Curse of the Sad Mummy, and that should be the end of days. No Leandra is necessary. Meanwhile, in the top side, in the bot side, Mum gets called in. Fruity's able to survive. Calm Sky goes down. They trade out 1-for-1. Dopamine taking a whole lot of damage as Fastlake. The tower's charged up. Fastlake just needs to play this well. He flashes forward and doesn't get the Q off in time. Max drop just about gets away with a survival there.
Well, Bartholdi up top survived on less than 10 HP. Doesn't trade off the 1-for-1. That's a big death over for Shihan, unfortunately for him. But his team, junglers attacking each of these side lanes. His team is able to get out on top on the bot side of the map with a good overall dive from Dopamine. Much better than that first dive that went through. And the kill that Verdant dropped went over the fast legs. Sumi now is in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, he's just done so. No, they come in with a save.
Oh, I mean,
Sumi playing with fire, man.
that was a bit of a clenching moment there, but he's fine. He's out again. Base Sealed though, perma cooldown right here. So much pressure on Sumi. I think Sumi's been sick, by the way, in the NLC so far. Like he plays these high pressure style mid laners. You know, like the Tristanas as well, and like LeBlanc, we've seen him on. He was great on LeBlanc last week. You know, and like things like Yone, like he's very good at being these carry style mid laners, and he does it very well. So, you know, Verdant now just permanently attacking this mid lane, really putting him under pressure. And it's working out great, you know, like they are completely neutralizing him here. Even if they're not killing him, you know, they didn't even blow a flash last time they went down. just putting the pressure, alleviating the pressure from Harbo, getting his ultimate cooldown, really limits what Sumi can do.
I really want to see Bartholdi actually start to play towards the bot side. He's got Curse of Sad Mummy coming up, and you want to get Fruity in this game. Fruity has been heavily denied by the constant ganks coming in from Dopamine. They do jump forwards. No Fate Sealed available, but Calm Sky is finding himself in danger. Mum's called forwards, and Fruity secures the kill. X-Drop taking a whole heap of damage. Now Fruity's in danger. No flash available. Is down he goes.
Nothing to take though. No dragon up right here. Fruity Fresh and Bartholdi. It's just a 2 for 2 at the end of the day, but Elijah wasn't in that fight. He's going to be able to take this top tower down. You have to think that it's just going to fall. It takes a while, but yeah, that's going to go as well. X-Drop though, this man's getting hard funneled now in the bot side. 3-0 and 3, 20 gold up, and just did a butt ton of damage to the turret as well. Like, this guy it has been the main focus here for Verdant, and I think it makes a lot of sense because he is the guy for this squad, right? You look at the statistics, you look at where Verdant play towards, who their best performing members are, and it is extra by a significant margin.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if you look at damage share and stuff like that, you know, Harbo, Shihan as a solo laners, even Dopamine as a jungler, don't put out anything near what X-Drop is able to do. So it makes a lot of sense playing towards him. Verdant executing their game plan very well so far.
Yeah, doing a really, really solid job of that. And again, I just want to see a bit more from Bartholdi here on the Amumu. He's played well to get Elijah that kill on the top side, but you are leaving your scaling ADC, your insurance for the late game, kind of to the wayside in a 3-0-3 Vayne now. Very, very scary. Although if Fruity does get some of those shutdowns, he will come back into this game nice and quick, as they are going to throw down the Ornn Horn onto him. They even use the wall from Dopamine. Fruity loses all of his HP immediately, and he just has to reset. Calls in Mum just to clear the wave, as they actually get Bartholdi to go forward with the Curse of the Sad Money. Bartholdi losing a lot of HP. The slow's coming in. Calm Sky's trying to buy some space, but the Ignite should just be enough. That's going to be one kill. Fruity able to secure himself the second, and somehow Verdant get turned onto. That looked like it started so well for them.
I thought that was a great play to begin with Verdant, just pushing Fruity Fresh and Fast Legs away, perhaps even being able to take down that turret, but a great response from Lightside, not going down there for free, and Fruity Fresh even picking up his own kill in that play. So very nicely responded to, right as this dragon spawns as well. But I think both teams should be in a good position here. Shihan has just spawned. But with everything that was used, I don't think we can rush down Dragon. So we might just see another big fight coming through here as well, but a lot of resources are down.
Yeah, we are at the point, though, where you need to kind of wait for some of those ultimates to come back if you are on the side of light side. Not much was really committed. X-Drop still has his ult, Calm Sky still has his, Bartholdi no Curse the Sad Mummy, and that is not going to be up in time, so this may just be a bit of a give here from the side of light side, although they're rotating everybody around. The Unraveled Earth buys a fair amount of space as Sumi finds himself catching onto two with the Fate Sealed. Dopamine's going incredibly low. Sumi gets it, and that should just be the dragon secured for them. No, Harbo able to get it for his team. Beautiful pickup for him. Sumi still fighting Shihan on the bottom side of the map, and he is going to be able to secure himself a double kill. Absolutely beautiful by Sumi. Comes in for the flash, gets himself some healing and speed from that fleet footwork. Q charged up as well. Should be able to make his way forward as they find the turnaround. Mum comes down, shut down in the pocket of Elijah. That's another in the pocket of Fruity. X-Drop is the only man standing.
We highlighted him earlier. Sumi, the carry in the mid lane. He 2v1s Dopamine and Shihan. All by himself, takes them out of the fight. Such a big benefit right there for Lightside, and well, perfectly played for those guys. Unfortunately not able to pick up the dragon, but still winning that team fight. Now this gold lead is starting to look pretty favorable here for Lightside too. And Fruity Fresh, who was struggling bot side, who was ignored bot side, he's picked up his own little shutdown. He's picked up a few kills for himself too. It's all turning around here for Lightside.
Fruity not going to get caught out by the knockback as X-Drop tries to tumble forward, unable to make it happen. And so Verdant potentially setting up for this Rift Herald, although Bartholdi now starting to get more and more tanky. That Leandrius has been finished up for a little while, and the Sunfire Cape is on the way. So So it's Mumu about to get even tankier. So it looks like light side. Actually seeing Sumi taking himself a fight versus Doku. Bartholdi gets the lockdown, and that's going to be the kill. Bartholdi curses the sad mummy, secures himself a double kill. Calm Sky, he's just going to die here. There's no way Bartholdi's going to go down. No one's in the area. Lockdown's there. Fruity's going to be given the kill as well. Nope, Bartholdi gets a triple.
Why did he walk away? Take it, bro. Take it. That's strange. But yeah, Bartholdi, man, picks up the triple 5-1 and 5 now on this Amumu with that Leandries. This is the great benefactor of having these Leandries rushes nowadays on these kind of like tanky but magic kind of damage tanky people. You know, as we mentioned, like the Nunu and the Maokai, and now of course Mumu too. They do actually have quite a lot of damage threat, especially early on, and especially against tankier targets with all that percentage health damage coming through. So yeah, you've got to respect him, man. You've got to respect him, and so far he's done a fantastic job. Bartholdi, honestly, he does this so much, right? He's so good in the early game for getting light side ahead. You know, like he's always able to consistently find advantages for his team during the lane phase in the first kind of like 20-25 minutes of the game. And now for light side, we have kind of seen they sometimes struggle to transition that into victories. And now they're in a position where they do have that lead, they do have that advantage. Can they beat their bugbear? Can they transition this game?
Looks like Verdant trying to still attack this mid lane, but it's just so hard now that Fruity, Essence Reaver Triforce, has that Q upgraded as well, so has that big splash damage on it. Verdant, they got Sheehan in the area. I think they are looking to set up for a play. Dopamine may look to try and put a wall down as Fruity's able to put enough space between them. They get the lockdown. They get the kill. There's nothing they can do. Teleport coming in. There's the curse of the sad mummy. Everybody's getting burnt by Bartholdi. In jumps Elijah. Straight onto the backline. Kidnaps Edstrong. Keeps the pressure up. Secures him the kill. Double kill goes for Bartholdi. Verdant used everything for an ADC. And they don't realize Bartholdi, he's the captain now.
He is, and Sumi's just pushing down this bot side as well. That's a tier 2 turret, which is worth a butt ton of gold, plus 700. Thank you very much. This mid-tier one is going to fall down with Shelly, and probably the tier 2 as well.
Oh, no.
Oh, my goodness. Sumi's going crazy hard here. I don't think he's going to pick up the kill, but my God. That's kind of scary. Just, I mean,
he was like one Q off. That was literally a one Q
just a little bit. It was very close, but it's just, I mean, 3 turrets. A 1-team fight. Yeah, that's a big oopsie here for Verdant. Lightside will be very happy with how that turned out.
Yeah, Lightside can be sitting quite pretty off the back of this one. Sumi, level 15, Bork, and that shield boat in pocket. Gets the W shield off here versus Sheehan. Sheehan trying to break away. The knockups coming in. Sheehan, very tanky to be fair. Taking this trade quite effectively versus Sumi, but Sumi, he just has that shield bow shield. He had the sustain. He knew he was going to be able to take that fight. Gets Sheehan just before the dragon spawns up as well. That's a big loss there. Sumi can reset and teleport back in for the dragon. But I think the concern for Lightside is if they do dragon, Baron can get rushed. You got a Vayne and a Corki on the other team. Baron will melt if Verdant are given the opportunity.
That is true, but they're not going to go for the Nash. Instead, they're looking towards this top tower. It is an objective bounty. Lightside might need more members to really effectively stop this one from going down. But now here comes the TP. We're getting a full-on engage.
Magnestorm hits onto 3. Elijah puts the pressure in. In jumps Sumi. Mum's even called in. And that's 2 kills picked up for the side of Lightside. The teleport from Harbo is a little bit too little. A little bit too late. The fate is sealed for the side of X-Drop, and Sheehan is still putting the damage in with Harbo. The knockback comes in, and Fruity is just free, firing away. Fastlane secures the kill, but Elijah will make sure Sheehan is locked in place. Fruity just puts the DPS down. It is a clean ace for the side of Lightside. They're going to get Baron.
They're going to take Baron. They even defended that tier 1 top. It's disastrous for Verdant right here, and exactly what the doctor ordered for Lightside to keep their playoff hopes alive.
Huge. Huge performance coming in from the side of Lightside. Now, rapid fire cannon finished up for the side of Fruity. You've got the Infinity Edge now on Sumi. So he is very much spiked. And I mean, if you just look at the gold graph, every single lane is up. Every single role is up in gold right now. It's going to be a miracle task for Verdant to pull this back as but they are just fighting down here. Sumi gets himself caught out. Mumba's called in. Dopamine does get hit. And Bartoli's just going to flash forward and catch on with the Q. Calm Sky now just trying to waddle away as the Achu slows him down. In comes the lockdown. In comes the pony. Calm Sky, not long for the world. Fruity's able to secure the kill.
The question being really here is, what were Verdant trying to do in that spot? There's nothing to achieve in that area unless they were just looking for a pick maybe and they got caught out. Either way, that is 2 kills now down and light side 5 members strong. Oh boy, I don't think Sumi wanted to do that. Okay. That's a little bit unfortunate. Maybe he had it. Maybe he had it in his locker to just one combo Harbo down, but he had to land the Fate Seal, and that was unfortunate. That's not going to get it down. And Harbo now should be able to take this mid tower as well. So okay, rumblings of a comeback here for Verdant. I don't want to get too excited.
Oh yeah, I won't get too ahead of yourself.
I think we'll just a little bit. This is potentially laying some foundation.
It was a nice little shutdown there for Harbo. I think if Sumi had hit the R, with the fact he's got that Infinity Edge, he probably had the damage to secure that kill. But woulda, coulda, shoulda. Should have hit the ult.
Exactly.
Didn't. So it goes down level 16 onto Sumi. Everyone's starting to get very, very powerful at this point in the game. Pretty fresh. Now got his Noon Quiver, so I assume that'll be a mortal reminder coming in for him. We're just putting a whole heap of damage down. Dragon spawning up in 2 minutes. So I expect that's probably where we'll see our next kind of breakout of action in the team.
Yeah. Lightside have done quite a lot using this Baron buff to push open the base for Verdant, or even bot side. You know, have cracked open that inhibitor. Just inhib turrets remain now for Verdant. And Lightside, you know, with Baron having still up for a little bit. I can't imagine it's up for much longer though. I think it's going to be expiring soon. I'm not sure if they'll get another push in with Baron empowered minions before it expires, but they're going to go for it here at least. Verdant gonna have to just hold on just a teeny weeny little bit longer.
I think this has to be the last wave, so they're just trying to get as much damage out as they can. As there it goes, Baron fades off. The pressure does not though. Right side still keeping it up, still keeping their hopes of making it to the playoffs alive. Dragon spawning up in a minute's time. Pretty big wave is starting to build up bot side, pushing in to Verdant's jungle, so that'll probably crash around the time of the Baron Dragon or just before. Expect to see Verdant have to send someone over to go deal with those double supers, and this is just going to buy so much space for the side of light side to place wards and get control. I actually don't think Fastlake has any wards though, so he was trying to reset. So a lot of that tempo has been somewhat slowed down by Karmsky just threatening to throw a Q out.
He will get that reset now, however, and like you say, get a refresher on those wards and that vision control. Light side just going to be waiting up here for this dragon to spawn. They'll be taking that down. It's not soul or anything like that, so no big whoopee for taking it, but it does build towards the soul. And of course, the Elder if this game goes long enough. I do think though Lightside are going to struggle to really break open Verdant's space right here. Whenever there's Corki and Talia, that's so much wave clear. They can't dive either, Lightside can't. And they don't really have the range to siege themselves, right? The literally only ranged character on their team is Fruity Fresh, is the Smolder. And he's not particularly long range, and he's more like an ability focused character Slayer champion, right? Not just like auto attacks like you see from other traditional agencies.
Oh my word! That's how you deal with the wave clear. You Yone it.
It's not bad. That's one of their 2 down. Lightside push.
It's going to make their life a lot harder because Fruity's already on the tower, able to do a whole heap of damage to it. No Baron necessary, all off the pick from Sumi. As the inhibitor will crumble as well. Down it goes. They may just try and just play it by the books. I think that's going to be the game plan here. Tower number 3 goes down. Inhibitors are all cracked open. Light side. Nova Baron spawning up relatively soon, so they're actually just going to take a step back, recall, probably spend some of that gold, and then just get their hands onto the Baron. Knowing that there's just too much pressure, because Tilly is great at wave clear, not when there's 6 supers per wave.
Yeah. No, it's true. She will struggle. She will struggle to kill these supers. The only one really who can do it, Extrop and Harbo. They've done a great job so far of kind of stalling this game out. Or they had done, I guess, until 2 minutes ago. But it's still, you know, an 11,000 gold difference. And to be perfectly frank about this one, Jake, if Lightside pick up this Nash, the game will be over. I don't think Verdant can hold. Calm Sky has waddled around trying to put some vision down. I don't think Verdant are going to try and even contest this one. It's difficult. I don't know how they contest, but at the same time, no inhibitors up. Just your Nexus and Nexus turrets versus the Baron to up the team. That's going to be very hard to defend.
It's going to be a very hard to defend, but it's easier to defend as 5 than as 4 if you send one member to try and stop the Baron. They still have 2 towers at their Nexus, and as long as they can play around that, they may be able to find an angle on a dive. I just worry that Sumi is just so strong now. Level 18, Infinity Edge, Bork, Shield Bow. It's going to be super hard to take out this Yone. The wall gets caught out. They're splitting them in 2. That's the perfect angle. Immediately, they try and catch Elijah. Ultimate comes down from Fruity. Getting a whole heap of damage, though, on to the Ornn. Sheehan crumbles. Bartholdi's low HP. As we're actually seeing Harbo do a fair amount of damage. In comes the Fate Seal from Sumi. He's just keeping the pressure up on the Harbo. Harbo able to survive for now. As over the Unraveled Earth, the Q goes, and down goes Bartholdi. They've still got their towers. They've still got one of their carries, but the damage of Fruity is just too much. He's able to execute one. Harbo's trying to keep Elijah off his side, but Elijah comes in with the ult. Dopamine falls down. That's the ace. That's the base. That's the game. And Lightside, their hopes, their dreams of making it a playoff are not done yet.
Venom Crest will need to lose their game today, but Lightside have kept it alive for now. And to be perfectly honest, that was a pretty clean game. That was quite a strong one coming out from these guys as well. Quite impressed with how they played it. It was a difficult one to close out, but a lot of that's just due to team compositions. But when they found their opportunities to do it, they were mega.
I felt like Lightside got a lot of comfort here, and that was probably the biggest factor. Anyway, we're going to throw ourselves to a quick break, and then we'll be back with our analyst desk in game number 3. So we'll see you in a moment.
At SteelSeries, we make the headsets, mice and keyboards that the world's best gamers win the most with. And we've been doing it since way back. It's up to you how far you go, but whatever you do, go for glory.